Welcome to Reread. Today we are on book 7 of the Galaxy of Fear series. This is called The Brain Spiders. Uncle Hool takes Zack and Tash back to Tatooine to deal with Jabba the Hutt again, asking for yet another favor, this time to erase his and the children's past, like scrub their records. Supposedly, Jabba did this for Hool a long time ago, and he's asking for another favor. In return, Jabba asked him not to kill anyone, but to translate some scrolls that he stole from the Bamor monks who run, or basically that Jabba took the place from, his little palace from. And if you don't know, they're the little brain spiders, okay? So Hool decides to do that, starts translating the scrolls, and of course allows Zack and Tash to wander around Jabba's palace. Wouldn't that be kind of dangerous? I don't know, maybe they're protected by Jabba and he knows that and no one will touch them. Anyway, they meet a initiate of the Bamor monks. Like, he's hoping to get his brain put into a jar one day. Bedell? I don't know, Bedlow? Anyway, Bedlow, let's just call him that. He is, walking around. They walk in on someone called Grippin, and Grippin is the one who's doing the brain surgeries. And whoops, I shouldn't have showed y'all him doing brain surgeries. That's a big secret. The Bamor monks don't want anyone to know how they transfer the brain from your body to the jar, and everyone's, that your brain stays intact. Now, there is another character that Tash runs into very early in the book that I forgot to mention. His name is Carcass. He is a very dangerous crook. He's killed 91 people. He always puts a K on their forehead, because it's Carcass who killed you. And he is wanted by the Empire, by the Rebellion, and by Black Sun. Like, everyone has a price on his head. So, of course, Carcass, for some reason, they see him, or Zack sees him talking to Jabba, and he's like, wait a minute. The Empire just came by Jabba the Hutt's place and said, hey, we'll pay you for Carcass. Jabba's been delivering dead bodies, bounties to the Empire, wanted dead or alive, and he always turns them in dead. And he's been making the money that way. And when the Empire asks for Carcass, and they'll pay twice the amount, he's like, okay, I'll bring you Carcass's body too. But Zack's like, well, I guess he's helping, Carcass maybe. Meanwhile, Tash and Zack get into an argument. Tash is interested in the Bamor monks and what they think enlightenment is. They are all complimenting her, thinking that she should be one of them. And they put her through these tests, and so far she's acing them all. Well, as Zack goes back to see Tash later on, Tash is like, leave me alone, kid. And Zack's like, why are you calling me a kid and stuff? And she's acting all weird. One night she gets into she steals a skimmer, a land skimmer from Jabba the Hutt, flies into Mos Eisley, and suddenly there's a murder, and Tash was over the dead body, and the dead body had a K on it. And Zack is the most stupidest person in the world to not know what happened. I mean, it really takes him a very long time, but again, it's a children's novel, and hey, you know what? I guess you, the reader, are supposed to make those connections before the actual character is. But he does eventually make the connection when he sees Tash talking to Jabba the Hutt and saying, you really screwed me over, Jabba. This is not what I wanted. And then there's a Bamor monk like bothering Zack the whole time when Zack goes, what do you want? And he looks and sees what the monk scribbled on the wall. I'm Tash. And then that's when Zack goes, huh? Again, it's a children's book. I don't want to come down too hard on it. But he figures that out. Now he figures that Jabba has been turning in these dead bodies, but keeping their brains and switching them with another person. Because in the past, they've talked about, Bedlow has said, hey, they have way more surgeries than they used to back in the day, like double the amount of surgeries. And then also, Zack met a prisoner who said, I did nothing wrong. I don't know why I'm in here. And Zack let him go. He was supposed to replace Carcass's brain, or be Carcass's body, new body. And his brain was going to go into a Bamor monk. So Jabba is doing this. Jabba's charging the criminals to, give them a new identity, a real new body and everything. And then he's cashing in on those dead bounty rewards by the Empire. So he's making money on both ends. He's very happy. And this kind of traitor, Grimpin, has been doing the surgeries, this Bamor monk. Well, I don't think he's a Bamor monk. He's just a henchman for Jabba that knows how to do the surgeries. Hool decides that Jabba cannot help him out because Jabba says, look, I can't wipe your slate clean. The Empire's too, the security's too deep there, but I can give you new identities. Hool says no. He almost has the scroll translated anyway, but he decided they're going to pack it up and leave. Of course, Jabba doesn't care anything about Hool, and he knows that they've already switched brains with Tash, and he's looking for Zack to, switch brains with another criminal and put it in Zack's body too. Of course, Hool comes in to save the day at the end, as he always does. And Grimpen is, I think Grimpen is a person though, because later on in the epilogue, because Jabba's furious because Grimpen is gone. He's gone missing, and that's the only guy that knows how to do the brain surgery. And the Bomor monks won't do it. And that scroll was supposed to have the secret to it. But when Hool offered to give them the scroll back if they put Tash's brain back into her body, they agreed. At first they said, no, we're not going to do that. We don't do backwards compatible transfers here. But when Hool says, I got your scroll, and I'll give it to everyone. I'll let them know about your fake initiations and they go, oh, in that case, yeah, we'll put her brain back. I thought that was pretty cool. And so then they fly away, and as Jabba's angry, a brain jar on the third shelf kind of bubbles because it's Gremlin screaming, help me, but no one can hear him because he's just a brain. So it's actually a pretty good story. I really enjoy this one. I think it's great. It doesn't have really that many connections to the expanded universe as a whole, like no other stories would connect to this. But overall, it's just a fun children's novel. This whole series is great. All right, folks, I'll talk to you next time.